the Lakers, who are always looking to upgrade, especially if it's through the draft, could have a chance to do that this year, due in large part to a trade from that Anthony Davis trade between the Pelicans and the Lakers. What's good, y'all, and welcome to another Lakers Digest video. I'm your host, Okechi Apakama, and before we get into everything that we have for you for today's video, guys, I want to bring your attention to something. There is 72% of you guys who have recently watched our videos who are not subscribed to the channel just yet, and if you guys want more of that, like news, like reactions, trade rumors, game recaps, and just everything Lakers basketball, you guys want to come right here to Lakers Digest so you guys do not miss any of it. Now, with that out of the way, guys, let's hop straight into the topics that we have for you today, as the Lakers have a good chance of keeping their pick. So, as I said earlier, due in large part to that Anthony Davis trade a couple of years ago, the Lakers and the New Orleans Pelicans have a bunch of picks sort of intertwined due to pick swaps and just all of those things of that nature. So, according to Kevin O'Connor of The Ringer, he recently said that the Pelicans could look to give the Lakers this year's pick, the 2024 pick, and then take their 2025 pick last year. So what Kevin O'Connor said in his piece, mostly about Bronny James, but he was saying as a result of the Anthony Davis trade, the Lakers will lose their pick either this year or next year to the Lakers, and that's due to the Pelicans choosing. But according to people around the league, it looks like they'll take next year's pick instead of this year's pick, which gives the Lakers a chance to possibly take Bronny. I don't think so, but or go after a guy like Trae Young in a trade. So that's just like a little bit of what Kevin said. But the Pelicans taking next year's pick could be due to a myriad of reasons for them. They are one of those teams who are still up and coming, still finding the right combination of young guys that they can pair with their main dudes, Zion and Brandon Ingram, and just all of those players, they're trying to figure out the right mesh. So finding probably the best talent they can find, they can maybe get that in the next draft, as a lot of people around the current draft boards of this year saying this draft isn't as strong as next year could be. So that's probably what the Pelicans are thinking of, and that's why the Lakers are going to get their first round pick of this year, which could make a big difference here, as there are definitely some impact players in and around that range the Lakers could be picking at. So it's somewhere around from the 14th probably to the 18th, somewhere in that range is where the Lakers could be projected to be picking. Obviously, it depends on how the Lakers finish and what happens with the standings, and that's a whole crazy thing right now, so I don't want to get too much into that. But essentially is if the Lakers are able to keep their pick, they're able to pick someone from this year's draft. And Kevin O'Connor did name a guy, Bronny James, and I just highly doubt that Bronny James would go anywhere that high for the Los Angeles Lakers. So I do think there is a chance the Lakers could get a guy like Bronny James, but it will probably have to be either a second-round draft pick or they guarantee to sign him on a two-way contract coming out of the draft, because I don't know how high Bronny James will go in this draft. But as far as some of the other people possibly available, this kind of just leads me to my next point here, as the Lakers have to choose a path. So the Lakers are at a path right now. They got to choose two ways of what they want their team to be in the way they build through the draft. And the one way is having those more established guys, NBA ready guys who are ready to help out a LeBron James team, which is essentially what the Lakers are, a LeBron James team, and help them get to their ultimate goal, a championship. Or they can go the other route, which is kind of what they did in this past year's draft, drafting more younger guys and having them more as projects, and then sort of like building up a little bit of a farm system, kind of like what they did before after the years with Kobe Bryant. But as difference to that Kobe Bryant year, the Lakers kind of started a little bit earlier, obviously with LeBron James and Anthony Davis still in the thick of things, and a lot can definitely change here in the next week or so. But the Lakers can either go one or two ways, just finding those more established for your college guys who went to accredited schools, through good coaches and just understand basketball at a high level. That's why you get guys like Austin Reaves, who was a 4-year college player, and that's why he was able to come in as a young player and make an impact just because of his basketball IQ and some of the things he understood on the court. And that's what really keened in LeBron James into liking Austin Reaves. Or like they did this year, they could go with these younger players who could have potential down the road. I know a lot of fans are a little upset with a guy like Jalen Hood-Schifino, who didn't really do too much for the Los Angeles Lakers this season. But people got to remember, this guy isn't even 21 years old. He's still an NBA young. He was still learning about what it means to be an NBA player, and that takes a couple of some time for younger guys. It could usually take most guys like 3 to 4 years to really find their footing in the league. So a guy like Hood-Schifino being in year one, and even Maxwell Lewis, a guy who the Lakers took in the second round, who was definitely more of a project because he spent most of his time in the G League with the South Bay Lakers. So both of those guys were just projects to see if they are able to become something down the road for the Los Angeles Lakers. So they're still very much wait and see guys, and it is unfortunate just because currently on your team, you would want some guys who can possibly help your team, like say how the Golden State Warriors have guys like Trace Jackson Davis or Podziemski, both of those guys who are rookies, but they are contributing to those Warrior teams, and that's because those are both 4-year guys, established college guys, went to good programs, really understand some of like the ins and outs of basketball, and that happens when you have all those 4 years instead of going as a younger prospect like a Hood-Schifino or a Maxwell Lewis. But the Lakers, they got to choose a path depending on what they want to do, and it's going to be very indicative this offseason. Actually, I think this draft, I don't think the Lakers are going to hold these picks around to the middle of the season to make mid-season trade like they did a couple years ago, trading out Russell Westbrook. But I think this is going to be something that is going to be looked around that draft time area, because the Lakers could potentially have 3 first-round picks, and then you include this year and then a couple in the future. I believe it would be 2028 and the 2029 first-round picks. Or it's either the 2028 or the 2030, because you can't trade consecutive picks. So the Lakers will have some options to trade multiple picks, and then having a pick this year gives other teams a viable guy they can use right away in their next season. And there is some players in and around that 14 to 18 range that could be interesting. One entirely is the big man himself down there, Zach Edey. He is projected to go as maybe as high as 7 or 8, or he could go as low as in the 20s. So this guy could definitely be an interesting guy, especially if the Lakers do keep their pick and draft him, because Zach Edey is more of a polished player because he's played in a good program for a bunch of years, and he kind of is the type of player that the Lakers have been asking for, just a big interior force, a guy that you can help throw onto some of those bigger bodies in the league, and then it can free up a guy like Anthony Davis to really help out and roam on the wing and really use some of his other exceptional defensive talents, and then also preserves a guy like Anthony Davis because he doesn't have to go against these big physical matchups, and then he's able to do a lot more. And then now you're going to have a problem on the other side of the team, because you're going to have your power forward guarding Anthony Davis, because you can't leave a small guy on Zach Edey, or he'll eat you alive. Even though he will be a rookie next season, that guy is 7'4" and 300 pounds. He is a lot of dude. So it's going to be tough for some of these NBA teams to really adjust to that type of size, just because not many teams really have two big looks. And if they have two big looks, it's not really those bigger physical interior presence, with the exception of maybe a Denver Nuggets team, or a team like even a little bit like the Sacramento Kings, because Domantas Sabonis is a guy that can be a bruiser as well. But the Lakers could do a couple of things of that nature, like maybe getting a guy like Zach Edey, maybe trading the pick. But I do think the Lakers are going to make a decision as soon or in and around that draft area, just because time is kind of running out, as LeBron James has alluded that he's not going to be playing forever. And then you have Anthony Davis smack dab right in the middle of his prime, playing some of his best basketball of his career. I mean, like in total, not just what he does on the offensive end, but just defensively, he just covers for so much for the Los Angeles Lakers, and is a reason why the Lakers are where they are in their position, is because Anthony Davis has done so much, and he's played a ton of games this season, over 70 plus, so that is very encouraging to see. But let us know what you guys think in the comments down below of what the Lakers should do. Do you think the Lakers should keep this pick and possibly draft a guy like a Zach Edey to really help with that interior size and force? Or should the Lakers trade that pick and try to get one of these these star type guards like a Donovan Mitchell or a Trae Young? Or should the Lakers even go in a different direction and draft just like a young player, maybe a shooter, more of another project type player that could hopefully become something post LeBron James and Anthony Davis? But let us know what you guys think in the comments down below. I have been your host, Okechi Apakama, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.